Race war. Their next moves will be cyber attacks and power outages. Globalists are going to cut our power off and say the Russians did it. It might be, hackers took down a part of the power grid. How many times have I said they're going to blow the power grid up and say Trump supporters did it?
Well, tonight, the nation's intelligence agencies are warning of cyber threats from Russia and are urging U.S. critical infrastructure defenses to be reinforced.
Homeland Security is warning of a potential troubling escalation in tactics from right-wing extremists.
It wouldn't take much to throw the entire country into darkness.
The grid is a sprawling target. There are actually 3 in the U.S., the Eastern, Western, and Texas has its own. Should a transformer explode, the system is designed to trigger a localized grid-preserving blackout. But if several sections of the grid go down at the same time, the shutdowns can cascade like dominoes.
There's a very few number of substations you need to take out in the entire United States to knock out the entire grid.
We all know, but still pay insufficient attention to the frightening scenario of a comprehensive cyber attack, which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole, would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack. As a timely opportunity to reflect on the lessons the cybersecurity community can draw and improve our preparedness for a potential cyber pandemic.
Have you ever thought about what will come of the humans after the shit hits the fan? Don't forget to share, because a lot of you have this sick thought in your head. An entire generation raised on a disproportionate amount of meat in their diet and any other generation that came before them. Unable to surpass this desire to eat flesh, they will likely resort to eating each other when they realize how hard it is to hunt animals, because they have absolutely no skill to do so. And unlike them, the animals haven't been domesticated and still retain their survival instincts. For these depraved and entitled carnivores conditioned into a life of complacency and laziness, hunting humans will simply be easier. So don't be fooled by the deception of civility, because in times of endless famine, drought, water shortages, and a world without rule of law, I'm pretty sure 8 billion humans will take to cannibalizing each other with relative ease. Now let me know what you think in the comments. Please don't forget to share. AP out. What is it, and what rights does it take away from you as soon as it's enacted? Here's the actual definition of martial law. The ranking military officer in command of the force on the ground will become the head of the civilian government for the duration. Now, the assumption is that local government and law enforcement are incapable of handling the crisis, so the military is called upon to assume that role. Martial law can be declared by the president or an act of Congress on a federal or national level by using federal troops, and by a governor on a state level using the National Guard as that state's military force. Here are the rights taken away from you instantly. The First Amendment, our freedom of speech, assembly, and press. The degree to which the First Amendment will be affected under martial law is proportionate to the actual threat itself. The Second Amendment, the right to bear arms. It is quite possible that the confiscation of firearms could take place under martial law, especially if civil rest is the root cause of the Declaration. The Third Amendment, freedom from housing soldiers. This right goes back to the Revolutionary War when the British took possession of homes and farms to house and feed their soldiers. Fourth Amendment, protection from unreasonable search and seizure. This is another unlikely event under most circumstances under martial law. It wasn't widespread following 9/11, although anyone who was suspected to be involved in the attack on the Twin Towers was subject to exactly that, and that's the point. The Fifth Amendment, protection to life, liberty, and property. This is the part where they will take away what you want them to find. What you want them to find being key here. This is why I tell you to hide preps and pew-pews. In large group situations, it might be different, but if you are at home with your family alone, this is not the time to go Red Dawn. You shut the fuck up and let them take what you want them to find and be on their way.